There's this. See what there's this. And I'm going to put this on YouTube and make you famous so your phone rings more. I will never post anything publicly on the internet or F you. No, you're Hillary today. Tomorrow I want that election to be over. Okay, shoot that. Okay. So, electricity. I remember how to do that.
Down and imagine the go. After the starter, well, okay. So brakes clear. Back. That's the. Yeah, now something that is not on the checklist, but it should be, but I didn't include it when I wrote the checklist. Advance the throttle about half an inch or so. Okay. Hey, hey. Now let me tell you a little about something I just did there. When I pumped that throttle, got an accelerator pump built into the carburetor. Gas. It's an updraft carburetor. And if it backfires, I'm going to gun it. I'm not going to pull back because I don't want an engine. Only pump the throttle like that with the engine cranking. Never with the engine stopped, because you'll pump fuel out into the Venturi. It'll drain down in the carburetor heat box. Okay. When you get that backfire, because it's lean, it'll ignite that, and then that's when you want to keep cranking the engine and suck that fire back into the engine. Now we're started. Avionics master on. Can I hear Dave? I can hear you. Can you hear me? I can hear Dave. Good deal. So now we got check oil pressure. We got good oil pressure. We got 30 seconds to start. Mags to both. An RPM pickup. Radios to taxi. So if I remember correctly, we are going to go. Wait. It has a 10-second warm-up time. When it flashes that okay. Then press that enter button 4 times. Enter. Okay, now we're here. 120. I don't remember the 122.8. You'll need 122.8 is Unicom. How about ASOS? ASOS is
I can't remember.
135.87.
135.
You'll need to memorize those two frequencies. You'll need to know those when you solo.
So we're going to go 135.87.
And remember to get the 25 kilohertz. There you go.
And we're going to do our flip-flop.
Celsius. Altimeter 3007.
22.8, right?
Yes.
Marks. Density altitude.
The most common Unicom frequency.
Thunderstorm. Information not available.
122.8. There are others, but that's the most common.
Scappoose Industrial Air Park Airport, Scappoose, Oregon. Automated weather observation 1644 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 10 Celsius. Dew point 09 Celsius. Altimeter 3007. Remarks. Density altitude -600. Thunderstorm. Information not available.
Okay.
Scappoose Industrial
All
Air
right.
Park Airport.
And the altimeter is 3007. You've got about 3002.
Oh, okay.
There you go. There you go. Good,
so, got no wind, got nothing.
Here at Scappoose, 15 is the designated calm wind runway.
Okay.
And it's designated that way because there are two instrument approach procedures that come straight into that runway, and so it makes traffic
You told me
mesh.
that, so 15 is pointed, I just got to think for a second. That's north.
That's north over there.
Okay, so 15 coming in, if 180's here, 15 we're coming this way.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the end of 15, and that's the end of 3.
You got it.
Right? It'll take about 10 times for me
That's
to
all right.
figure that out.
That's all right. Doing really well.
So that being said, take our butt down there.
Right.
If I can turn.
Right. And we'll take the rest of us and the airplane with us. Go ahead and retract your flaps.
Okay.
And go ahead and make your radio call.
Oh. Scappoose traffic, this is Pacer N7822 Delta. Don't need to say the N. Departing Columbia Aviation, taxiing to 15 departure. Scappoose.
Excellent.
Us.
Right hand on the throttle.
Right hand on the throttle.
Yoke all the way back.
And so if I want to pull my fat ass up here,
Yes.
is it bad practice for me to just let go of this?
I teach you to have that yoke back so that's your go-to position.
Yep.
Most of the time it doesn't matter, but there are times when
Strong
it matters
crosswind.
a lot.
Yeah.
And so you want that to be your go-to position.
Okay.
So that's why I have you hold it there.
And you don't over there, do you?
We're clear. Go ahead and check your brakes shortly after beginning the taxi roll. You always want to check the brakes on your schedule, never on the airplane schedule. This will be a good leaf blowing day when we come back in.
Or hitting geese.
This is my leaf blower,
I've heard a bunch of gunshots.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be out doing that, but not this. Okay, so I haven't come this way before, but I guess as long as I stay to the left.
You're fine. We are clear on the right. So this your first time on 15?
No, but we didn't taxi out that way last time. I just done that little ramp part.
Oh, yeah.
Now maybe my feng shui is just a little better, but I feel a little bit. Plane's sort of going the direction I want it to.
Yeah. All right, and then we'll pull into this elephant ear on your left and position the airplane into the wind. We don't really have any wind today, so it doesn't really matter where
the reason we do into the wind is
for better engine cooling, and airplanes are designed to fly into the air. And so if you have wind, the safest orientation for the airplane to be sitting on the ground is faced into the wind rather than crosswind. Yeah, this is fine for today. Good.
Okay.
Takeoff checklist.
Takeoff checklist.
Sorry, our pre-takeoff checklist.
Pre-takeoff checklist. Travel. like our ailerons are connected still. Got rudder travel, set instruments, altimeter, radio. This is where it's supposed to be, right?
Now, the 3 flight instruments that you would set in this step would be the altimeter, the attitude indicator, that little white dot should be lined up with the first pitch mark, which is 5 degrees. That's pretty much there. And then set the heading indicator to match the magnetic compass.
That's 80?
075. Remember, all magnetic headings are always given as 3-digit numbers. So 1 degree magnetic would be 001.
So there's no confusion.
Yes.
Okay, set trim takeoff. Out there. Front engine up to 1800 RPM. Give us brakes. 1800. Last time it was missing a little bit. Cleared it off. Check mags. Seems like that's not very much of a drop, but there's still a drop, right?
That's good. 50 to 100 typically would be a normal mag drop. That's good.
Okay. Carb heat. Carb heat. Carb heat. Here we go. Got carb heat. Check amps. Good. Check vacuum. We're good. Set throttle to 1,000.
One thing I want you to work on, Travis, when we're flying, try to be more deliberate with what you're doing. You're a wired kind of a guy. You're going 100 miles a minute. That can
slow down.
That can catch up to you. Yeah. So try to be more deliberate in what you're doing, or fewer extemporaneous maneuvers or movements. Okay.
Right to it.
I mean, it's going to be difficult for you because you're just kind of wired that way, but try to be more deliberate in what you're doing.
Exactly the reason that you're saying that is why I was saying maybe we should just slow down a minute and fucking to pound it into me so that it's just we'll figure it out.
It's more a learned habit for some people. I tend to be the same way. When I'm flying an airplane, it's like, okay, slow down.
Slow down.
Make your movements count. The reason for that is extemporaneous movements. You think about it, every one of those false movements, there's a potential mistake in each one of those. If you follow through with that, that's a potential mistake.
Yep.
Whatever, gear up, gear down, whatever.
Transponder to altimeter. Okay. Now we'd probably be ready for a radio call.
Pull up to the hold line, and you can position the airplane so we're kind of angled up towards the final approach. Yeah, so we can see anybody. Remember, we're not going to depend on the radio. We're going to always look. All right. I don't see anybody. Do you see anybody?
I do not see anybody.
And we're looking on final. We're looking on base. We're looking on downwind. Let me have the airplane for a minute. Because the traffic pattern is ahead of us here, we don't have to do this maneuver that I'm about to show you on this side of the airport. If we were on the other side, this is what we would do. We would power up, and we would do a 360-degree turn here and sweep the horizon line for traffic.
Okay.
Now, we don't have to do it here because the traffic pattern does not exist over there. But if we were over on that side, this is what we would do. Okay, you've got the aircraft.
I have the airplane.
You got the airplane.
Okay. Now we're ready for a radio call.
Good.
And we're going to say, Scappoose, Pacer 7822 Delta, at the hold line on 15, ready for departure. Scappoose.
And we're remaining in closed pattern traffic.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That we're good.
Good. We don't hear anybody, and we don't see anybody, and we're going to look downrange and make sure there's nobody inbound on the other end of the runway. And we are clear on the right. Go ahead and taxi out onto the runway center line. And remember, this doesn't do anything on the ground.
All the way back.
Good. All right. Now we're going to control the directional track of the airplane with just rudder. We want to stay off the brakes. No brakes, if possible. Full power. Right rudder. Keep your right hand on the throttle. Yeah, we might need to abort for some reason. You don't want to have to be grappling for the throttle. You want to have your hand right on it all the time. Right hand on the throttle. It seems like it takes two hands to fly the airplane. It really doesn't. Okay, good, good, good. Retract the flaps. We're at 100 to 200 feet. That's considered to be a safe altitude at which to retract the flaps. Remember, on the climb out, we want to apply a little bit of right rudder pressure for torque compensation. And at this point, we're just going to climb straight out to 500 feet. All right, we're ready for the crosswind turn. Lift that left wing and take a look for traffic.
Buddy.
All right, and roll into a turn to the left. Aileron first, followed by rudder. And we want to limit our bank to nothing more than 30 degrees. I don't think we have a whole lot of wind out here today, so
like nothing.
There is no drift correction.
But what a beautiful winter morning.
Beautiful fall day. All right, so about a quarter to a half mile, raise the wing again, take a look for traffic, and roll on to the downwind.
How far is this channel? Is that about a half mile from the runway?
Yeah, water. Figures, I mean, you can look at the runway. The runway's just about a mile long. You can kind of use that as a yardstick or a ruler, as it were. All right, pitch, power, trim. We're going to pitch the nose down. We're going to bring the power back to, say, 2300 or so, and then we're going to trim. Hold your altitude, 1000 on the downwind. And then trim to relieve control pressure. Good, good, good. Pre-landing checklist, or before landing checklist.
Before landing checklist, seatbelt, fullest tank. Okay, right.
Good.
We're going to be right.
Now, yeah, there you go. Good.
Okay, pre-landing checklist, and we got mixture rich. Got carb heat on, then off to make sure it's right. Works. Okay.
Okay, we're beamed the approach into the runway, a little past. Now we're a little bit high.
I'm a little bit this way too, and high, right?
We're a little bit high. You can widen it out to the right a little bit. Let's bring the power down to 1400 RPMs. Typically, we would use 1500, but since we're a couple hundred feet high here, we're gonna compensate for that a little bit with our power on the approach. And we want to slow the airplane down to approach speed before we give up any altitude.
Before we turn to base?
Before we give up any altitude. We'll turn base when we need to. Flaps 20. And go ahead and take a look over your left shoulder. You see the runway back there?
I can't see it.
It's more than 45 degrees. Go ahead and turn left. There's a turn on to base. Aileron first, followed by rudder. Scappoose traffic pacer 22 Delta is turning left base 15 for stop and go, Scappoose. All right. Okay, go ahead and roll out. This is a key position right here. What do you think? Too high, too low, or just right?
Pretty close. I'm not sure. Maybe about just right?
We're not too bad on altitude, but we're out here quite a ways, which puts us low on the profile.
And we're still going down.
Yeah, go ahead and power up just a little bit. 100 RPMs or so. There you go. And go ahead and roll on to final. Scappoose traffic pacer 22 Delta base to final. 15 for stop and go, Scappoose. All right. We have a PAPI at this airport. PAPI stands for Precision Approach Path Indicator. It is that series of lights to the left of the runway. They're showing all red right now, which means we're too low. So go ahead and add just a little bit of power, and we'll shallow our descent angle until we intercept that PAPI where you've got 2 white, 2 red lights. Remember here again, when you're low, you don't want to try to stretch it with pitch. You want to add power if we're too low, and you got about the right amount of power in there. I wouldn't add any more. Keep the nose down. All of these little adjustments, these should all be coordinated turns. Aileron first, followed by rudder. Aileron first, followed by rudder. These should all be coordinated turns.
Now we're on the glide slope.
Good, then bring the power down about 1500 RPMs. Now, I'm seeing a lot of aileron movement, not feeling a lot of rudder movement. If you have enough rudder in there, it's going to take less aileron to accomplish what you... Yeah, there you go. That's better. Yeah, those should all be little coordinated turns. Power up just a little bit. All right. And we'll intercept the desired glide path right about here. That third light is just a little bit pinkish, which means we're almost on it. Once we have the runway made, right about here, you can close the throttle, keep the nose down, keep the nose down. There you go.
Fucking weird.
Okay. And we're looking for the visual clue. Right there it is. We're going to bring the nose up. Be patient right in here as the airplane floats. Bring it up a little bit more. Touchdown. Yoke all the way back. Keep it straight with rudder only. And then after the airplane is kind of settled on the landing gear, then we can gently squeeze the brakes in symmetrically and come to a stop.
Okay. Buddy, I'm still not the landing part. Like, I just feel like we're coming in a little hot, and it's like it's just perfect. Weird.
Yeah, we'll be talking about the landing flare next time. Now, before we go, there's 4 things we want to check. One is the fuel quantity
Sufficient
on a tank that we're about to take off on. Make sure that the selector correlates to the fuel tank. Flap setting, we got flaps 20. That's 20. Good.
Yep.
And the trim position, that's close enough. You could adjust a little bit if you want to. All right, I've got the flight controls.
Okay.
And
you have the airplane?
I got the flight control. And I'm going to demonstrate a pattern for you. Pay particular attention. I'm going to scrutinize every move I make. Because when I do this for you guys, I try to make them perfect, so you'll have a perfect thing to look at, okay? So scrutinize every single thing I do in the pattern. Here we go, full power. And I'm going to keep my hand on the throttle. Keep the airplane straight on the runway center line with rudder only, preferably. The airplane's going to come off the ground when it's ready to fly, right about there. Release the back pressure. Pitch for a climb pitch attitude that I know from experience will result in a climb speed of 80 miles per hour. Once we're out of 100 feet AGL, right about there, I'll retract the flaps and continue climbing. And I'm applying a little bit of right rudder pressure for torque compensation. Although today it's not taking too much, I think that's primarily because we're empty on that tank on that side. And so the weight, and I outweigh you by a little bit, so the airplane being weighted heavily on the right side is negating the need for very much right rudder there. Okay, we're at 500 feet. We're clear on the left, and we're going to roll into a turn to the left, aileron first, followed by rudder. Now, one thing that's going to occur in this, because the density altitude is so low and the airplane's performance is so good, we're going to be on downwind when we're, pretty much even with the end of the runway. So that's going to reduce the amount of time that we have on the downwind to do the stuff we need to do there. Okay, pitch, power, trim.
13 Victor departing. Bravo taxiway 15, right hand turn west side.
All right, we're clear downwind. We're rolling to a turn. Aileron first, followed by rudder. And it's important that we hold whatever altitude we're shooting for traffic pattern. It's important that we actually shoot for that and hold that. That's going to affect the approach. All right, here we are, rolling downwind, quarter to a half mile away from the runway. Landing checklist. Well, first we need to make our call. Scappoose traffic pacer 22 Delta midfield left downwind 15 for stop and go Scappoose. Before landing checklist, safety restraints are on. Fuel selector on a good tank. We're on the right tank. The right tank is full. And mixture rich. Check carb heat. And we're ready for our level flight speed change. We're beamed the approach into the runway. these level flight speed changes right here, work on them, perfect them. This maneuver kind of sets the tone for the approach. So I'm going to hold this altitude until I've got my speed achieved. Then I'm going to lower the nose to hold that speed and start giving up altitude. Flaps 20.
Okay.
Trim. I'm sorry?
Have you done this?
Twice. No, 3 times. A good 3
So then
times.
right about
Yeah,
now,
we're about 45
about
degrees.
45. Okay.
And we've given up a couple 100 feet of altitude,
Okay.
just like I wanted here. All right, so we're going to turn. Nice coordinated turn. Ball should always be in the center. All right, key position right here. What do you think? Too high, too low, or just right?
About just right. Maybe a little bit high, maybe 100 feet high, maybe.
I like it. I think we're good.
I keep envisioning the glide slope, and after the last one we just did, I think in my head, the way it looks, I'm thinking it's going to stretch out. Like last time, you just put it down faster.
Scappoose traffic, Pacer 22 Delta coming up on a base to final turn. 1-5, first up, full stop. Correction, a stop and go. Scappoose. All right, I'm going to lead this turn. Who's there? I don't know. Couldn't tell what he said.
So you're dead on. Well, there was an auto gyro took off while.
Oh.
I don't know where he went, but. Oh, there he is, right? He's down there.
Okay. All right. So at this point, we look pretty good. We could be just a skosh higher. No, there we are. They're right there. Now notice I'm out of alignment a little bit, so I'm going to bring it back with a coordinated turn. Aileron first, followed by rudder. We may have a little wind drift from the left there. I'm sensing a little bit of drift here. There's not much, if any. Okay, steady as she goes. Once I've got the runway made, and right about here, I've got the runway made, I'm going to bring the power all the way back. Keep the nose down. Visual clue, which we'll talk about next time. Start bringing the nose up. Patient right in here, let the airplane slow down. Looking for that pitch attitude, that 3-point pitch attitude right there. It is. Yoke all the way back. That's kind of like throwing out the anchor. It pins the airplane to the ground. That's important. And let it roll for a little bit. Let the landing gear get weighted equally. Then squeeze the brakes on right on the center line. Come to a complete stop. Okay. All right? You got the airplane.
Okay.
All right, let's do those 4 things. Check the fuel quantity, fuel selector.
Yep, we're on the right tank. We've got most gas on the right-hand side. Flaps
Notice how we check that every single time without fail. If you don't form that habit, sooner or later you'll run one of these tanks dry.
So we're just basically here. Check brakes.
It's not on the checklist. It's 4 items: fuel selector, fuel quantity, flap setting, and trim.
Okay.
All right, we're ready to go.
Okay.
You got the flight controls.
Now I give another radio call or not? We're already did.
No, we're good to go. Full power.
Yeah.
And you're going to keep it straight with rudder only. Keep your right hand on the throttle. And basically just fly it off of the runway. The airplane comes off the runway right about here. There it goes. And you can relax the back pressure a little bit. We want to achieve 80 in the climb. There you go. There's your 100 to 200 feet of altitude. Retract the flaps. And climb out. A little bit of right rudder for torque. Doesn't take much today. Typically more than this, but because my blubbery self is over on the right side of the airplane and the left tank is empty, that's helping you compensate for the torque. All right, 500 feet. Lift that left wing. Take a look for traffic. Particularly out in that area right there. That's the area of the inbound traffic for the pattern, yeah. Nice turn.
A little steep.
Well coordinated. Good, very nice. Very nice.
Climb out to 1,000.
Alright.
Right about here.
Yeah, right about here. You can level it out, pitch, power, trim, lower the pitch attitude, bring the power back to 2300, and trim. We use that sequence, I'd say about 80% of the time. Pitch first, power second, trim third.
Okay.
Go ahead and turn downwind. Good. Camera just fell off the window.
Whatever. I don't care.
All right, let's make our downwind call. Scappoose traffic, Pacer 22 Delta, left downwind 15 for stop and go, Scappoose.
Okay, so now when you're making that call, you're not even saying 7822. When does it matter? Who cares?
We reduce it to the last 3 digits of the registration.
Okay.
There's a bunch of stuff to talk about there.
Okay. Now I feel better. Last time we were a little bit, now we're just nice and level.
Good,
Normal.
everything's good.
Right.
We need to do a before landing checklist.
Okay, before landing checklist, seat belts, reflector on the full tank. Instead of just pencil whipping, I should actually touch it.
Yes.
Carb heat works. 20 degrees of flaps in here.
Make your level flight speed change first. That's power down. Hold this altitude until you slow the airplane down to approach speed.
80.
This level flight speed change sets the tone for the approach. So work on the precision of that maneuver right there. And we're converging with the runway center line quite a bit. Just go ahead and make the turn. We're too far into it now. Go ahead and make one turn to final right here. Right hand on the throttle. You'll notice when we're taking off or on landing approach, we always have our hand on the throttle. You want to have that power option available right there. You don't want to be, pawing, trying to find the throttle, pulling the mixture and all the rest of that, turn the mags off and all the rest of that stuff.
Now I feel like we're way high, which we are.
We're a little bit high, but we're out here ways too.
So put some flaps in now.
No, go ahead and turn final. No, I wouldn't, because we're a ways out here. You'll notice that those lights will start turning red because our descent angle is going to be considerable. See, there's the first one, there's the second one. We're on the glide path right now. Go ahead and power back up to where you were right there. We're on the glide path right now. In fact, it's going to take a little power to get to the runway. Line up with the runway center line, right aileron, followed by right rudder. We kind of ruddered into that one. Try not to do that. Power up a little bit. See, we're too low. All of them are red. Too low. Power up, power up, power up. Power up some more. Good, good, good. There you go. We're out of alignment just a little bit. No, don't rudder for it. Aileron first, followed by rudder. Now you can bring the power down.
Pretty much
Power,
we haven't made,
power
right?
all the way down. Power all the way down. Nose down. No, keep your right hand on the throttle. Nose down. There you go.
This still feels like we're gonna smack it.
Okay, now you can gently start bringing the nose up. Bring it up a little bit more as it starts sinking. Okay, and then yoke all the way back. Bring the yoke all the way back right after touchdown. That's extremely important. That is critical. That kind of pins the airplane to the ground. Without that, the airplane's going to be skimming and floating and all kinds of bad things will happen.
Especially the times today now that I'm not paying attention to the ground effect.
Yes.
Because you're coming in so fast, and then when we hit that pillow, it's just like, okay, boom, like.
It is an effect. Yeah, that's true. You can fly through it, but it is relevant. Okay, fuel fuel selector, fuel quantity, flap setting. We've only got 10 degrees of flaps in. Go ahead and pull another notch.
I don't have any.
Yeah, there's 10 degrees in there. Yeah.
Okay.
And trim. And I think we got time for one more.
Okay.
All right, full power. Keep it straight with rudder only. Try to stay off the brakes. Keep your right hand on the throttle. airplane's going to come off the ground right about here. Lower the nose just a little bit, relax some of that back pressure so your speed comes up a little more. There you go, full power. Push that throttle all the way in. Good.
And you're not grabbing it with a death grip when you do it. You're just keeping your hand here. I see you resting your finger so that you just know it's there.
You want to have your hand in contact with the throttle. Here's the deal. Sooner or later, you will need to abort a takeoff. A flush of birds will fly up in front of you. A gust of wind does something. You know, somebody pulls out in front of you. Something happens where you need to abort the takeoff. You want to have your hand right on that throttle and be ready to do it. Okay? Go ahead and retract your flaps. And raise the left wing, clear the area of traffic. And roll into a turn. Aileron first, followed by rudder. Yeah, very nice. That's a perfect turn right there. Perfect rudder coordination. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, what a day. This is beautiful. And it couldn't be happening to more deserving people, I might add. All right. Pitch, power, trim, and go ahead and turn downrange, downwind. Aileron first, followed by rudder. There you go.
Scappoose traffic, experimental 114 Echo, November. Inbound for full stop. I'm about 5 miles out, almost over the Columbia River, approaching from the east at 1,500 feet. Planning to enter a downwind for a 1-5.
Yeah, traffic out there.
Oh, you hear him? Where did he just...
I see him. I mean, I hear him, but I don't see him. Do you see him out here?
No, I don't see him.
Okay. Landing checklist. Hold your altitude.
Landing checklist. Tank on the fullest. Fuel tanker.
Not yet. Not yet on the
Not
flaps.
yet. Not yet. You're right. Yep. Heart rate. Rich.
Scappoose traffic, Pacer 7822 Delta midfield, left downwind 15, full stop, Scappoose. All right. Level flight speed change right here. Bring the power down to 1,500 RPMs. Hold this altitude until you decrease the airspeed to 80. Yeah, right there. Then lower the nose. And we'll hold this speed as we start giving up altitude. Flaps 20. And we're just going to fly out here until the runway appears to be about 45 degrees behind us. Power up just a little bit. We're underpowered here just a little. About 1,500 RPM. There you go. Take a look at that runway. About 45 degrees.
Good.
Check for traffic to the left.
Okay.
And go ahead and roll onto a turn to the left onto base. Get on first, followed by rudder. Yeah, we're going to be a little bit low. Power up to about 1,600 RPMs. Remember, we're pitching for the airspeed, powering for the altitude. Key position. What do you think? Too high, too low, or just right?
Lower than last time.
We're lower than. We're a little
right.
bit low, aren't we? Power up to about 1,800 RPMs. Yeah, and just hold that. Good, good, good. Yeah, we're a little bit long on all these because we're achieving altitude sooner because of low density altitude.
Scappoose traffic, experimental 114 Echo November, entering a downwind for 15. Scappoose traffic.
He's entering downwind. He's coming over there.
He's over there. Correct. Scappoose traffic, Pacer 22 Delta base to final. 15, full stop, Scappoose.
Right over red.
All right, we're a little bit low. Power up. And here you don't really want to climb. You just want to reduce the descent angle so you intercept the preferred glide path. If you attempted to climb right in here, you would...
He almost went right into us.
Yep. Fortunately, they're better at avoiding us than we are at avoiding them. All
okay,
right.
so now we're right.
Good. Power down. In fact, you can bring power all the way back. We've got the runway made. And keep the nose down. Keep your right hand on the throttle. Nose down. There you go. Yep, right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, it's so.
Okay. And then gently start bringing the nose up. A little bit too much right there. It's all in coordination with what the airplane is doing and what the wind is doing to it. Touchdown, yoke all the way back. You hold that yoke all the way back. And gently start squeezing the brakes on.
And when you're I guess I was going to ask you both. I mean, if you did one, the faster your feet are, the more likely you are to fuck it up.
Scappoose traffic, experimental 114 Echo November, turning base for 15, full stop, Scappoose.
The problem with getting on the brakes too quickly is even if you were to symmetrically apply them, the airplane is probably not evenly weighted on the landing gear. See, you need to let the airplane land and kind of settle down on the gear before you get on the brakes very much, just for symmetrical braking. And we'll roll clear of that hold line, turn to the right, come to a complete stop. We're clear on the right. All right.
No.
That's good. After landing checklist.
After landing checklist, flaps up, carb heat off, lights is required, transponder standby.
Good. Take us home. Good job. Yeah, that gives you a little look at what we do in the traffic pattern. We're going to be going around and around and around and around.
For 15 full stop, Scappoose.
Oh, that was you. I was going to say, what the fuck is dragging me right?
No, I wouldn't do anything.
Was it your foot stuck on it? Felt like.
Power back. We're a little bit too fast. About 10 miles per hour. About as fast as you can run. If you can show me that you can run this fast, I'll let you taxi this fast. I won't be catching you, though, because I can't run this fast. We're going to go to the next taxiway. And we'll turn in here.
If I was going to turn this around and just leave it there, you do it that way so that you end up never having your prop wash going to the hangar.
Right, that's right. Now, but in this case, I'm going to engage in a little bit of leaf blowing activities. And this thing works really well for blowing leaves.
Oh, hey, look, they're all gone. Come over to my house, man.
Yeah, that way I blow them over on the neighbor's property. All right, shutdown checklist.
Down checklist. Radios, avionics off. 1200 RPM until idle is. Idle cut. Mags to off. Master